Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to a brand new video and welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, it's going to be a little bit different video than usual. What we're going to be talking about today is kind of like recently what the new meta has been in Maple recently, or like a slight smaller meta that's kind of starting to come up more and more that I'm seeing. And we're going to kind of talk about the reasons of why you shouldn't make a shadower. And specifically what I mean is a shadower farmer. So I know recently a lot of people have been like talking about making a shadower in terms of just like farming more money regularly, because the shadower does have the 20% passive miso skill. But I do want you to take a step back and actually think why you should or why you potentially shouldn't make a shadower farmer. And that's kind of what we're going to talk about in today's video today. So to start off the video, I do want to talk about the reasons why you should make a shadower farmer. So the main reason that I think that most people should make a shadower farmer is if their main has out-leveled areas that do drop familiars and they're now in Cernium. And kind of what I mean by that is being like level 275 plus and not having good or any boss fams at all. That's like the main reason that I think that anybody should make a shadower farmer. You definitely could take your main and bring it back to Limina, even if you're at 275 all the way to 280. I know people that have done that in the past. A good example of somebody who did that was Dubsley, I believe. So if you do want to do that, it is an option, but I do think a more optimal route, if you're 275 or even 280, is definitely making a shadower farmer and then farming your way up and getting that extra 20% miso on top of farming familiars. And another reason that I think it would be feasible to even make a shadower farmer is if you're, kind of getting bored or burnt out and you want to do something new, then that's totally fine. But I think the two main reasons that a lot of people get it wrong of why they should make a shadower farmer is the first one, to make the extra 20% miso when farming. So yes, it is very good and the passive is great, but like you can still farm very well and very efficiently on your main, especially in the later areas like Cernium, Burnium, and Arcus, because they are such big maps. You do get pretty good rate. So I definitely do not think it is worth it to make a shadower farmer just to get the 20% miso. I think it's much more beneficial to just stick on your main and farm and get the extra EXP rather than just strictly farming for 20% miso. Now, obviously, like if you are farming familiars, the 20% miso is an advantage, but I definitely don't think the only reason you should make a shadower farmer is for the miso. I think you're better off just farming on your main. The other reason is to farm nodes. I know a lot of people think that, yeah, shadowers, they get better rates, they can farm in bigger maps, they have marks, and while it is true, it's definitely not a feasible reason to make a shadower farmer. Same kind of concept before in the reason listed above was just farm on your main, just do it that way, get the extra EXP, get the nodes on your main that way, don't make a shadower farmer for it. And then a big reason that a lot of people don't really think about when making a shadower farmer is really the cost of making a shadower. A lot of people probably think you can dump like 5 bill, 10 bill into a shadower farmer and it'll be like a-okay, good to go, and thinking that, oh yeah, I can just put like maybe a day or two on it and it'll be good to go. The shadower farmer takes up a lot of resources and it takes a lot of time to make. This was one mistake that I made when I made mine. I actually made a brand new shadower farmer and then I realized how much time it was actually going to take to get to places like Moonbridge or even Limina. So I ended up just job changing my level 247 Night Lord into a shadower and just leaving the baby shadower as a bossy mule. And I ended up spending like 25 bill on the baby shadower just for it to like 2-shot mark and really not be that strong, doing it kind of off event inefficiently. So that's a good example of what you shouldn't do, doing it off event and just kind of rushing it. But in my opinion, I think the minimum cost for a shadower farmer would be about 20 to 30 bill, like on the lower end, to be completely honest. And that's only going to get you 2 to 3-shot marks. Like it will not get you to 1-shot marks 100% certain. So it's definitely not cheap. It does take a lot of time, and it definitely is going to take you probably 30 plus days just from doing like the daily. So like the thing is, and the thing that sucks with the shadow farmer is you can't like just rush make one Sure, you can rush levels, but you'll get to a point where you're way out leveling your arcane force, and that's going to set you back and really time get you. So keep that in mind when you're making one. If you're gonna make one, I recommend getting it to like 220 or 225 and then letting it sit there for a while and farming dailies until you push it further. And then with that 20 to 30 build, that's probably just gonna get you like minimum a few items to 17 star and then full miso and drop gear. Now this is if you're doing it off event. Obviously if you're doing it on like a 5, 10, 15, that's gonna be much cheaper. But if you do like rush it off event, expect the cost just to get like your CRA and your APSO to 17 to be like 20 to 30 build total for like all your miso and drop gear and and your 17 star gear. I think the biggest misconception right now with a lot of people is thinking that Shadow Farmer is like equivalent to a Kana farmer, and that's so far from the truth. The Kana was insanely overpowered in the fact that, you know, you could have Kishin spawn or like totem spawn 24/7 forever was just broken, like looking back at it. And Shadower, as yes, it is a good farmer and it does have the 20% passive, it's definitely nowhere near at all any sort of Kana rates, and it's definitely not as valuable as a Kana farmer was by any means. So if you're thinking about making a Shadower farmer just to strictly make more money, and I'm saying that in quotation marks, definitely don't do it, because you're gonna end up spending more time and more money making the Shadower farmer when you could have just been farming on your main, and it's not really going to be worth in that aspect. I think the only time that it's worth to make a Shadower farmer is one, if you're 275 plus and you're in need of fams, or number two, if you're just purely bored and you want to do something new. But otherwise, do not make a Shadower farmer, guys. It's not worth it. It's not going to give you like a huge return on your investment. It's going to end up wasting a lot of your time and a lot of your money, and it's going to end up taking a lot more probably than you expected it to. So yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to just talk about in today's video. Since I have seen a lot more people starting to make Shadowers, and no, I'm not just saying that because I don't want everybody to be doing, you know, the meta that I'm doing. I think it's really not worth it to make one unless you're in a certain position, and most people really aren't in a certain position to make one. So I just wanted to make this video right now, guys, and can kind of give you my thoughts and opinions on a Shadower farmer. But yeah, if you guys have any, you know, questions, concerns, thoughts on like the things that I was talking about today, definitely leave them in the comment section below, and I will reply to the comments below, guys. But yeah, as always, I hope you guys all enjoyed the video, and until next time, I'll see you guys later. Peace.